This is the way we test the microphone for the game brew.
That seemed to go well. Yeah.
I did not mean to do that.
Sounds like it's working.
Well, let's at least hear how it sounds.
Hello and welcome to the Game Brew Podcast, episode 27. I am your ranger, Ian Richard, and I am joined by fellowship members Allison Van de Vender.
You have my bow.
Chris Wrights.
And my axe.
Dan Rotz.
I got hairy feet because I'm a hobbit.
And Will Shell.
Well, he wasn't part of the fellowship.
Oh, that was unexpected, but perfect. Okay.
He was around most of the time.
I don't know if he counts as a fellowship member, though. He's kind of like
he was just
the
there.
opposite of fellowship.
Yeah.
The rest of the podcast will be done in my Smeagol voice.
Please no. Please no.
The place is Overwatch.
So, like I was saying, maybe you want to upgrade to the 2.0 model.
Today, we'll get into the spirit of Ready Player One and discuss our favorite Easter eggs. And in the second half of the show, we'll discuss great pairings in gaming. But first...
Why are we discussing great pairings?
We're discussing great pairings in gaming because, a little known fact, there's a very important holiday happening today. On the 25th, something that's very near and dear to my heart as a very observant patron of this holiday. No, not Palm Sunday. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. Rejoice.
Peanut butter jelly.
So that's a great pairing. We thought we'd talk about other great pairings in gaming. But first, as I was saying, it's time for a beer. Chris, what's on tap this week?
Just a little something, something.
Little something.
Yeah, but what's it called?
Little something, something.
Yeah, what's it called, though?
Little something, something. So it's a little something, something from Lagunitas. So it's a hoppy pale wheat ale, so it's 50% wheat. So it's like half a wheat beer.
Oh, wheat.
It's like if a wheat beer and an IPA had a love child.
It's Peanut Butter and Jelly Day. I'm about 50% wheat.
This is a really great beer.
It is a good beer.
I'm getting a lot of citrus right on the front end of it too, and I'm not hating it.
Yeah, it's a good beer. It's really easy to drink. It's hoppy, but it's like accessible too.
It's also 7.5% alcohol by volume, which means you're not hammered after one.
I don't know. 7.5 is pretty high.
Yeah, after two, you're probably going to feel pretty good.
Fun fact, according to Wikipedia, so Lagunitas is from California.
Yeah, totally.
And according to Wikipedia, the brewery has a long-standing association with cannabis, which have at times caused legal problems. Fun fact.
Not anymore, though, because smoking weed in California, completely illegal.
Is that legal?
What's that from?
Episode 1.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I will make it legal.
Legal?
Tune in next week for the Game Toke podcast.
No, just you.
No. The East Coasters are like, no, we can't.
No.
Listen, when your pants are this tight, you got to do something to take the pressure off, is all I'm saying. I feel like people on the West Coast wear tighter pants. There's just like generally very tight pants around here. It's not a dig. It's just
I didn't know that like you measured the tightness of pants out there. I think we just wear pants here.
I think California is like a 9.5 on the pants tightness scale, whereas here in Southwest Virginia, Northeast Tennessee, we're at like a 1.5.
Yeah, even
tops.
Portland, Seattle, West Coast, but they're farther north, so the pants get a little bit roomier up there, I feel like.
Roomy pants.
That's the roomy pants section of the country.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I am learning so much right now.
So many Game Brew facts happening right now.
Game Brew facts.
So what have we been up to this week, friends? We've been busy?
Doing some teeving.
Some teeving.
Doing some teeving.
Thieves.
Oh man, that's so much fun.
Yeah, the four of us have all put some time into, well, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Allison, have you played any Sea of Thieves?
No, I don't have it. I don't even know if my current computer can support it, to be honest.
Oh. Well, good news for you. It is cross-platform and play anywhere, so you could buy it.
She doesn't have an Xbox, though.
The Schmeckschmocks. You don't have a Schmeckschmocks.
Oh, I thought you got rid of it. Okay, so Xbox.
Don't talk for Allison.
Will just comes over to my house all the time, goes in my bedroom, and checks what consoles I have.
Let's see.
Is that what he tells you?
So I was really enjoying Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
I really like it. But I feel like I've kind of experienced all that it has to offer.
Yeah. Have you read any reviews of it?
Some, yeah.
Yeah, because they say kind of the same thing. Pretty much everybody's like, it feels like it's not a full game.
I have enjoyed my time with it, but I'm really glad that I've been doing it with the Xbox Game Pass free 2 weeks thing, because I don't think right now that it's worth $60.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it's fun with other people, and if you don't have fun friends, it's probably not going to be as fun.
Yeah, I did the same thing as Chris, where I didn't purchase the game. I just turned on the Game Pass, and then I'll turn it back off when I'm done playing it. But I will say that it gives me the kind of the same vibe that Elite Dangerous did when it first released, where there's a very, very promising skeleton that's out there right now that they could run with for a long time. So I'm really hoping that Rare continues to support the game and continues to add content and systems, because they have something really special on their hands that's just not quite done yet.
So I really like the game because it's fun to have it's great to have an excuse to sit down with just all of us best homies and, you know, go out and loot the booty. You know, it's just a lot of fun. But I was so frustrated with this game until Ian got on to play with me, because it's Dark Souls level instruction like it doesn't tell you shit that I don't know how you would figure out. For example, there's a mission where you have to go find some chickens. How am I supposed to know that you need chicken coops to put the chickens in? Like, that makes perfect sense when you think about it, but there's nothing anywhere, nowhere, not in the instructions, not on the map, anywhere that says, oh, by the way, you're going to want to go see this person over here, this specific person, to get some chicken coops to put the chickens in before you come back. Like, that infuriated me. Had Ian not been there, I would have not played the game more than maybe 30, 45 minutes.
I think what's so frustrating about that for me is that the game does so many aspects of making you feel like you're living in it well. Like, the water looks great. The sky is incredible. The sound effects and the music that are in it they make you feel like that you're in the game. And when you have to stop and open a wiki to figure something out, it really breaks you out of that. So on the one hand, props to them for making me feel like I want to live there and I want to stay there. On the other hand, if you're going to do that, then don't make me get out of it. What else have we been up to aside from Sea of Thieves?
PUBG Mobile, which is actually a lot of fun.
Okay.
I have to say, it's.
I'm very skeptical.
Overall, it's really well done, and I didn't feel that detached from a normal PUBG experience. But I will say, it is difficult to run and gun. You kind of have to set your crosshair, you know, the height and where you're going to be shooting, and then just kind of strafe left to right and shoot. You can't. It's not like you've got a mouse in one hand and can control the angle of your gun with the other. You got to set it and forget it and just kind of shoot like old school Doom, strafe left and right. So
I haven't downloaded it yet, but I do want to try. I have a Bluetooth controller. That might be fun with that.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Did you download the Fortnite thing at all? The mobile Fortnite thing?
I didn't. I'm on Android, so I can't.
That's iPhone only. Okay. It's funny because I think the PUBG's are Android only.
No, it's on both now.
It's on both.
Yeah, it's on both now. But like iPhone, it was the same thing with the Fortnite stuff, because it was like, it was very cool that you were able to do that, but also it's kind of real difficult to play like you would play normally because the controls are pretty wonky.
I'm just really impressed that they were, especially PUBG, which is notoriously hard to run on computers that they were able to reduce textures and make it small enough to actually run on a phone. That's really, really cool.
Is it the kind of thing that you actually feel like you'll end up playing? on your phone?
Yeah, I had a great time. I did not find it overtly difficult to navigate or do things. And actually, the loot system's much, much easier. Like, stuff pops up on screen. You just like tap, tap, tap. I want that. I want that. I want that. So the menu navigation is better. It's just the shooting mechanics that are really wonky if you're playing with the on-screen controls. And I wouldn't say wonky. I'd just say difficult.
Allison, what about you? Are you still farming with other people?
I am a little, and I am also doing a lot of League of Legends right now.
What's pulled you back? Well, there was a new character for League of Legends that's being released, right?
It's a rework.
Yeah, well, that stuff's happening a lot for sure. But it was my friends actually were trying to do a 5s team. So we're going to see how that goes and actually do a ranked 5s team. And
cool.
No shit.
So we're rolling with that. And, I'll be amazing and challenger in no time and be a streamer and leave you guys. So
Okay. Well, great.
That's fine.
prep for
Just
that.
get too big for us. That's the
When
goal.
you find fame, don't forget us lowly game brewers here.
No, forget us immediately. You are required to.
Wait, so
immediately
what's
forget us.
what's your role usually? Are you also like main heels in this?
I support, yes. That is my life. I am the support role. It's just, it fits me best.
I feel you.
middle name.
I mean, I love that role too. so.
Allison, I need help. Vanderbilt.
Oh, you know what? Actually, we totally forgot about. Allison, what do you have brewing this week? Because you're not a beer drinker.
I am drinking Loose Leaf Tico Long Island Strawberry Tea Chess because strawberry jelly is my favorite for peanut butter and jelly. So
Very
I thought it was
appropriate.
appropriate.
Well, so just to clarify, the Long Island strawberry tea is not at all alcoholic, in spite of the fact it's just a strawberry that's
just the
from
name
Long
of it.
Island.
Yeah, just the name of it. It's Loose Leaf Tico's in Virginia, and they're really cool because they have like specialty teas and stuff that you can get, and they're all just loose leaf, so you can put it in your own diffuser, or they give you little bags to put it in, and it has like actual dehydrated strawberries in it. So.
Is there an advantage to being a loose leaf tea versus a pre-bagged tea?
No, I think people will argue that they get to kind of control how much they're using. So where you'd have to like grab 2 bags or something, you can just kind of make however much you want. And a lot of times, stuff like this, if you get it, it's fresher. It's all kind of dried, but it's just not over processed.
There's nothing worse than a dry tea bag.
Has said every 12-year-old in every shooter game.
But you can with like loose leaf teas, you can also get adorable little like
Yeah, the little diffusers.
tea diffusers.
Yeah.
Super cute.
My
ones.
girlfriend has one that's a sloth. Like it has its arms on the side and it hangs off like that.
So cute.
My brother has one that's a manatee.
Aw,
Get
I
it?
like it. I used to have a little like Death Star one, but I don't have it anymore. It's lost.
Got a little acorn one.
Aw,
What's that? Darn Luke Skywalker came and blew it up.
probably. What a jerk.
Jerk.
I don't know. I guess we'll just do segue music here because I'm not doing a good job coming up with a segue.
Dan and I got this. We got
Segue music. Segue music. It's gonna be the awesome segue music.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm feeling it. This is good. We decided, since Ready Player One is basically a person in search of an Easter egg, that we would talk about our favorite Easter eggs in gaming, and talk about the history of Easter eggs just a little bit in gaming as well. So,
I'm also Easter.
And well,
I mean,
if that's your thing, if that's your thing, That's your
if
thing,
you're about
you know?
that.
Holidays and stuff.
holidays and stuff.
Is the season.
Well, so we all understand the concept of an Easter egg, right? It's something that's buried deep inside of a game that your average player is perhaps not apt to find, but creates a great sense of enjoyment when someone does find it. And perhaps the first one was in an Atari game called Adventure, which, truth be told, I have never played. In fact, there are very few Atari games which I have played. But apparently this guy, Warren Robinette, was not given credit for his work on the game. And so he put instead of being mentioned in the credits, he programmed himself into the game and put like this like sparkly rainbow display of his name in so that people would know he's involved. And that's kind of where things started, and it's sort of spiraled out of control ever since. So what is it about Easter eggs that we like? What is it that makes them valuable?
Well, it's kind of I'm a hyper nerd for retro gaming, so it's kind of funny that that's how it did start. Was the developers never got credit. It said by Atari. There were no credits. It was just by Atari. So that was kind of their way to get their own little, hey, pat on the back. I made this. I did all the work, 100%. So for the game companies, it was actually something really negative for them once they found out that the developers were doing it. But the gaming community loved something extra in the game that they couldn't find in a book and couldn't find in it. And I think that's true today. Like, I love finding something like super secret, maybe nobody's found yet, and just kind of feeling special about it.
So can you tell us about one, Allison, that you feel like affected you or that you were super happy about?
One of the coolest ones was in Black Ops 2, Call of Duty. I was a big Call of Duty nerd back in the day. I don't play as much anymore. But in the Nuketown 2025 map, if you shot the heads off the mannequins in 90 seconds, you got a little Easter egg on the TV in the middle of the map, and you could play Atari. And like I said, I'm a retro gaming nerd, so that was huge for me.
Wait, like cool. it would spawn an Atari in the middle of the map, and you could sit down and then play that?
It was on the TV that was there. And yeah, you can, after you did that, it turned on the TV, and you can go and play. And you could literally play old Atari games.
That's
on the
hilarious.
Map.
Cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I think there's something inherently special. It makes you feel really special to find something in a game that not everyone was meant to find. It's like, ooh, I'm smart. I feel, I'm an explorer. And what comes to mind for me instantly is I remember the first time I found one of those invisible coin blocks in Mario.
Oh,
you know
God.
What I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those were I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world because none of my friends knew about it. I got to show them. I was like, dude, look what I found. Or that first time you discover you can run up and over level 2, the dungeon level, and skip like 4 or 5 worlds. It just makes you feel special. And I think that's a big part of Easter egg collecting.
That brings up something to me, like what qualifies as an Easter egg? Because I feel like the thing that Allison is talking about and the thing that Will is talking about are kind of really different things. So what is an Easter egg?
Well, an Easter egg is something like you were talking about earlier, something the developer puts in. It doesn't necessarily like fit into what's going on in the game. It's something that's kind of like
it breaks the fourth wall somehow.
Yeah. It breaks it and says,
and like not everyone will find
things
it if they're just doing like a basic run.
Right.
So maybe like the hidden block isn't, but running up and over the game, that's breaking that wall.
The fact that you have to like, whenever you do the end of the second of world 1-2, where you jump over the thing and you roll over and there's like the warped pipes. Like, it's like, that's not necessarily something in the game to do, but it can make you go farther. I mean, I like the stuff that isn't really a game advantage, but it's just something that's silly or goofy. Like, basically everything in GTA 5. Or one of my favorite ones is in Halo 3. I love Red versus Blue. I watched that since I like Rooster Teeth stuff. I've been watching that since its inception. And in Halo 3, there's one point in the first level where you're running through, and if you go like you make a wrong turn, and you can see like these soldiers shouting at each other through a door. And it's all the characters from Red versus Blue just yelling at each other to be like, we can't get through the door. Griff, just push it on. I can't get through, everything's gone. And it's like all the characters from it. And
That's cool.
It's just really funny. But it doesn't really do anything aside from you can kind of just sit there and go,
yeah.
This is hilarious.
What's funny is that there are kind of Easter eggs that are actually like hidden and tucked away by developers who either had something to hide or wanted to keep it just really, really secret. And then there are times where games sort of play up the idea of an Easter egg as an actual sort of maybe more of an advanced mechanic than actually an egg. So the first thing that comes to mind for me about this is the little squishy Doom guys in Doom. The new Doom, because they play no purpose. They're collectible in the game. They don't do anything.
The ones where you like.
Yeah, they're completely outside the ethos of the entire game, too. Like a little plush toy doll in the middle of all this gore and murder. So, like, I like those, but I don't know if I'd consider them an Easter egg. And then, of course, there's the actual, like, old-school Doom levels built into the new Doom, which is fun, but totally also people are meant to find those.
I kind of like when games make cultural references to other games, I guess, or other things. And I guess that's kind of an Easter egg. But one that really sticks out in my head is there was a ton in WoW. But in Ungoro Crater, there's a character named Lincoln, Linken.
Like Abe?
No, not like Abe.
No, like Link.
But with En attached to it.
Yeah.
And he was near a Kodo beast named Dodonga. And you had to like collect all these items for him, and at the end the reward you got was either a boomerang or Lincoln's Sword of Mastery. Which I don't know, like that just gave me so much because I knew what they were like getting at. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, WoW does that a lot.
They did it.
I think Blizzard just in general does cultural references and like nerdy references as a part of world building. It's just
like Harrison Jones.
Yeah, like smash so much of their own stuff together that they couldn't help but pull other things in from other universes.
You guys played Fallout New Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever play it with Wild Wasteland on?
No. What is that?
So at the beginning when you were making your character, you could choose that. So like it would just have kind of weird and spooky things happen sometimes. So some of the ones from that come to mind. There was a cave where there were a bunch of large rodents, and they were called rouses. So rodents of unusual size from the Princess Bride.
Yep. Princess Bride.
And then there was another part near Nipton, where there were two like burnt bodies on the ground, and they were called Owen and Beru from Star Wars.
There was another one too, where if you go to where I forget where it is, but there was a refrigerator.
I'm sorry.
That you open.
I'm sorry, Dan. I'm so sorry. Just in case that Star Wars reference went over your head, that would be Luke's charred aunt and uncle in Tatooine, which is hilarious. I'm sorry, Dan. Please continue.
No, it's fine. It's another George Lucas thing, because there's one of you open up a refrigerator that you find like near a nuclear blast, and inside there's a skeleton with a fedora, or like not a fedora, but with a hat and like this stuff, and it looks like it's Indiana Jones, like from that
Crystal Skull,
that movie we don't talk about.
Yeah, we don't talk about.
This I'm gonna make a controversial statement.
You liked that movie?
Oh God.
I did not like that movie.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I do think that it's possible that Shia LaBeouf may still make an incredible Indiana Jones movie follow-up. No. I'm just saying, he has the right character, and now he's like been through some shit in his life. I feel like he could pull it off. That's what I'm just gonna say it.
I think Shia LaBeouf should star in the next Doom movie.
I think Shia LaBeouf's a really good actor. I don't know. I think he is. I think he's crazy. I think he is batshit insane, let me be clear. But I think he's also a decent actor.
Shia LaBeouf, next Batman.
I would just like to take this moment to say that the views of some of the Game Brew representatives are not always the views of all of the Game Brew as a company.
I learned if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Maybe we can get him to come be a guest on the show. I'll have my people reach out to his people.
Yeah, you're the closest to you. Oh boy.
All right, so we also had a couple shout outs from our Facebook feed, so thanks to everybody who shouted out to us. I'm gonna read a couple of them because they're cool. Trevor talked about the 1999 mode from BioShock Infinite. Does anybody else know what this is? Because I don't.
Oh, it makes it way harder.
Oh, okay.
It makes it feel like older shooter games.
Is that why they call it? I guess that must be why they call it the 1999 mode.
So that like drastically changes the play style that you would have in the game.
Right, because there were all these things in BioShock that made it feel exciting, but also kind of gave you the edge in a lot of ways. What else did we have? We had a comment from Steven talking about how the first Easter egg that he remembers encountering was the talking grunt in Halo CE. Does anyone know about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when on the last level when you have to escape the exploding planet or the exploding ring. There's a grunt that's just kind of talking to himself and saying funny stuff that you can kind of hang out with for a while, but you have a time limit until the ring explodes, so you can't hang out the whole time.
That is funny.
Another podcast, Saves Together, commented on Twitter. They're a podcast about cooperative gaming experience.
Oh, nice.
But they said they really like the Secret Skaters from the Tony Hawk series. Like you could be Dark Maul, Shredder,
Those were
Spider-Man.
That's hilarious.
Those are cool.
And also probably Alex Rider.
Yeah, you can be Alex Rider.
Would have thrown that out there. What? That is right.
really tall and
so righteous right now.
Super chill.
Funny. It's a secret Easter egg episode, and I, Alex, am actually editing the podcast this week, so I get to throw in my own Easter egg. Yes, I would say that the Tony Hawk Secret Skaters were some of my favorite Easter eggs in gaming, and I also liked finding all the secret Pokemon in all the different Game Boy Pokemon games. All right, I'm going to hand it back over to the Game Brew crew.
What else did people talk about?
My buddy Grizz was talking about in San Andreas on top of one of the big bridges.
I'm sorry. You have a friend named Grizz.
Grizz.
That's fucking awesome. I wish I was friends with him.
That's what everyone calls him.
That's the best.
That's his
Doesn't matter. It's his name now.
When we introduce him to parents, he is Grizz. Like, so he's Grizz to everyone.
That's
just his name.
I don't know his real name.
Should legally change it on his driver's license.
He really does. This needs to be like a McLovin situation. Sorry, please carry on.
Anyways, so Grizz was talking about in San Andreas, on top of one of the big bridges, there's a sign that says something like, there are no Easter eggs up here, go away.
That is pretty funny.
But it's a very like meta knowing.
It's a meta egg.
Yeah.
I feel like Rockstar is, because they're building these really large detailed worlds, they have the opportunity to hide shit in there, and I love what they did with the whole alien / jetpack situation in GTA 5, where there clearly were aliens built into the game, but there was also like this crazy hieroglyphic sketch in this one part on top of the mountain, and like aliens would appear there, and people were like, oh my god, we're gonna get the jetpack here, and there was this entire drama that unfolded from people just staring at this hieroglyph and then going into the source code, and there wasn't anything there until the developers came back and put shit in there afterwards, which is really just a great way to continue to have people to be involved in the game. So I think that's really cool too. Cool. Also, something that's near and dear in my heart, the game Astroneer. Is anybody else playing Astroneer, or is it just me?
I have played it.
I think it's just you right now.
I have played so much Astroneer, and this shit just keeps getting better. If you like spacey survival fun, go get Astroneer.
It's Space Minecraft.
It's so good though. It's like the best thing ever. But back earlier when it was more like a alpha, they had these little zebra balls built into that game. I remember
finding that with you.
Yeah, and we found it. We were like, "What the fuck does this thing do?" It turns out they don't do anything. But for those moments where you're finding it, like, "Look at this! Is crazy!" It was really cool.
Wayne on the Facebook also talked about the Chris Houlihan room. Do you guys know about that?
From Link to the Past.
Yeah, that's really cool because it's so classic.
Yeah, so there was a competition with Nintendo Powered. You had to post something, I think, from the first Final Fantasy. Or not post, but like take a picture of it and send it in. And they would choose randomly
someone to put into a game.
To be put, like, to have their name put into a future Nintendo game. And so it was Chris Houlihan in Link to the Past.
Yep. Good for him.
Really cool.
I'm sure maybe we should interview Chris Houlihan. That seems like the caliber of person we could actually get on the show.
Chris Houlihan, if you're out there listening, Let us know.
Love to have you.
Let us know. Send us an
We
email.
will buy you a beer. All right, that's it for the first half of our show. Listeners out there, if you are still thinking about Easter eggs, or if you just saw Ready Player One and you want to talk about your favorite Easter eggs from that, shoot us an email, send us a message on the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We are at The Game Brew. We love hearing from you. We'll be back in the second half of the show. Stick with us. Hello and welcome back to the second half of the Game Brew podcast. We are going to talk about, in recognition of the most important holiday of today, that is Peanut Butter and Jelly Day, we're going to talk about great pairings in gaming, but first we need to check in with the beer and the tea. So how's the tea, Allison?
It's awesome. It's one of my favorites. I always kind of come back to this one as my favorite fruit tea.
Is it? It's so just fruit. There's no black tea involved in this.
It's fruit.
No, there is.
Okay.
It's black tea and fruit bits.
Got it.
So
Fruit bits.
fruit bits.
I do like a fruity tea.
Fruit tea.
Seriously, I do.
I gotta say, I'm normally not into fruity teas. I actually love tea, but I'm more of a jasmine guy than I am a fruit tea guy.
I like it all, but with my black teas especially, I like either a little orange or something with it. Just kind of gives it something else other than just a plain profile.
So
It gives it a little
Something.
So Ian, what I'm hearing you on your
nice
tea is
segue,
you're a little more Symmetra, not so much Tracer on your tea.
Will, you got to stop playing Overwatch.
Yeah, I think, yeah, okay. So Lagunitas is a brewery, and they brew some pretty good stuff. This is great.
Or Lagunitas.
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 Dan,
most fierce of beers.
It actually has the pronunciation on the label.
Lagunitas.
Stop pretending I can read. Yeah, if it's not a random assortment of ones and zeros, I can't read it. You know that.
I think ales are the
Allays.
best kind of beer.
I'm inclined
Well,
to
that's
agree with
in
you on
general.
that.
Most beers are ales.
That's not true. Is that true? I don't know if that's true or not.
I mean,
I don't know. Chris said it. It's a game brew fact.
That's a game brew fact. We need to start a dictionary, an encyclopedia of game brew facts.
All right. I'll go listen to the backlog.
I mean, I feel like the main big ones are going to be ales and lagers.
Ales,
Lagers.
There's more lagers drank
Lager.
in the world because, like, Budweiser's considered a lager.
That's what
But,
I'm
like,
saying.
Different types. I feel like there's more ales.
So when you're in Philadelphia or the Philadelphia area, if you ask for a lager, they will just give you a Yingling. That's what you do.
That's
Say, hey,
cool.
want a lager? They just give you a Yingling.
In Baltimore,
That's what it is.
you don't say a lager, you just say a bow, and then they give you a bow.
I gotta say, can we do Natty Bow on the podcast one week, because that is a.
Can you get it?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can just mail me one. But that is
Just one.
Don't tell the government
It's
that.
olive oil.
Against
That's what
the
you're mailing.
rules.
Olive oil.
I'm sorry, U.S. Postal Service. There may be one can of Natty Bow traveling through your service at some point in the near
It's
future.
it's your job to figure out which box it's in. Good
Have
luck.
fun. It may or may not have a mustache on it. I'm just saying. I just
A
think
single eye.
Natty Bow is the best cheap beer out there.
It really is. I'm drinking my beer from a Natty Bow glass right now.
All right, let's talk about great combinations in gaming. So, great combinations in gaming. Here are the things that come to mind for me. L and R. A and B.
Like-
Start and select.
Those are buttons.
Those are really great combinations, but like you never see like A and
Zelda
C,
and Z targeting.
right?
CS:GO and Russians.
So just like peanut butter and jelly, there are some really great and some really terrible combinations in gaming. So what do we got, guys? Throw some out there.
The one that I really thought of was like The Sims and modding and like the customized content of it. Because I remember way back in the day when I first played it, I would like go on, at the time it was mallofthesims.com, which doesn't exist anymore. Don't go there. But
So
you go there.
It's one of those.
No, go there. I
And,
wonder what
like,
it's like now.
It's probably like bought by some like virus website.
You know
Don't
what
do it.
just occurred to me? Like, I wonder if hamsterdance.com is still a thing.
It should. I hope so. But I used to go in there and I'd pick all these things and have them download overnight on my dial-up awesome internet. And I would get like cool hairs and stuff to make all my Sims look like Sailor Scouts. And get posters to go in my house of like animes because people would make them and post them up for me.
Oh my God,
And so
that's awesome.
I could just like nerd out my house like I wanted to when I grew up, and I have achieved
you do
for the record
as an adult.
Yeah, like it really is now. So I was prepping for life, guys. And I would go on there and just download all these cool things. And now it's like massive compared to what it used to be. It's not just those little items you can do. It's like meshes of skins, and then you can have whole jobs they've made that you can download and put into the game that weren't even originally there. So that's modthesims.com, and that really exists.
So what is it about modding and Sims that goes together like peanut butter and jelly? Because peanut butter and jelly, I don't think necessarily if you'd remove them from their context we all understand them in. From this, remove the zeitgeist of peanut butter and jelly from peanut butter and jelly, and consider them.
Don't use big words like zeitgeist. Don't do that.
Consider peanut
Is
butter
that a
and
Pokemon?
it should be, but like they're not things that you would immediately be like, sure, those go together. They're more things that like happen to go together really well. So what is it about modding in The Sims that makes them so?
Well, I mean, for me, if you didn't mod that game, I would get bored with it in 10 minutes. But that's kind of like, I guess, peanut butter. I wouldn't eat peanut butter by itself, and I'd get bored of it eventually.
You
but
don't eat
together,
peanut butter by itself?
No, not really. Not often. But it just makes it a more pleasurable experience. And peanut butter and jelly is better to me than just peanut butter. So, yeah, that, I guess, is the relation I have.
Justify why you like peanut butter and jelly, please.
I don't think we have to get that deep.
I'm sorry. I got to ask right now before we go any farther. Crunchy or smooth?
Honey
is
and
important.
crunchy.
Crunchy. Oh.
It depends on my mood.
Oh, wow.
I can do
like-
both, but
I like
always
both.
crunchy.
Sometimes I switch back and forth.
Scientific studies show that
grape
crunchy
or
food is more satisfying.
Grape or strawberry.
Strawberry.
Well, we know my opinion.
Dan, go.
Listen. So if you're spreading it, smooth. But if you're eating it by itself, you do chunky. That's what you do. Spread it smooth, chunky spoon. You know.
I have been known
Just
to.
get a spoon of
I
that
have been known
schniz
to
and-
get one of those large spoons and just shove that thing down in there, twist it around with a little wrist flick, and just it goes in
That's
my
what she
mouth as
said.
the tears
That
are
wrist
flowing,
flick
man.
technique.
After a hard day's
Oh
work.
my God.
Take that out of context, and that is probably the worst thing ever said on this show. Just saying.
We're gonna isolate that
like,
audio.
that was like how to 101 with Will for a very different kind of episode. I'm just saying.
Oh my
Well,
God.
there's the intro. You're welcome.
That's brilliant.
So just record. Will, what's your perfect date? That-
It's all in the wrist.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So whose
this is
turn
a
is it?
family show.
it's a family
show. It's not a family show. That is a lie. This is not a
Do not let your kids listen to this.
Game Brew Facts. This is a family show.
All right, so Chris, you're up next. Pairing and gaming.
I was reminded this week when Dan and I were playing Resident Evil 5. Nothing goes better with red herbs than green herbs.
That's true.
Combining them together,
does. You want-
they're just really good for your health.
You want your health all the way up? Oh man.
Separated, they're okay. I mean, I'll eat them
All right.
if I need to, but together
Yeah.
they're just perfect.
So, Chris, we're all aware of why green herb is so great.
What is with you this week?
You're in California, dude.
Man, California's really getting to you guys.
But tell us what. So green is straight appealing. Red is like cures poison or something.
I don't think red actually.
Red doesn't do anything unless you put it with the green herb.
Yeah,
it's just.
But like
normal.
when you put it with the green herb, that makes it so like instead of like the green herb usually just does like 20 or 30% of your health, but then if you put both together, it's like 100%.
Yeah,
Poor California
bring it from
listeners
red
are going
to
to go
yellow.
down the street and be like,
I'm looking for that red and green herb,
"Yeah, I'm looking for that red herb. I need some amplification."
but it won't do anything.
It's not how pot works
By
in
itself.
California. You don't walk down the street like, "Excuse me, everyone. Has anyone seen some pot? Anybody?"
Just get some jasmine leaves. That's all it is.
So I'm going to ask the same question that I asked Allison, Chris. What is it about the combination of red and green herbs that's so...
Well, I told you, it's just the combination. It just is better for your health. It's necessary for the game for you to survive in the game, just as is PB&J for you to survive in college.
Oh my God. Chris went with a rather simple interpretation of this topic, apparently.
All right, Dan, what do you got, man?
So my peanut butter and jelly is Super Mario and motherfucking everything. Because you could just put Super, like, look at it. There's like, hey, you want Super Mario? Guess what? He's a plumber. Guess what? He's also
A cat.
Good at tennis. Guess what? He's a cat. Guess what? He's a frog. Guess what? He's also a weird squirrel
Or a
thing.
statue.
Guess what? He can play soccer with
was
all
a
of his
tanuki.
friends. Oh, you want to have a party? Here's Mario. He's good at parties.
He's amazing. He's great
Mario
at parties.
really is like the pasta of the gaming world, where you can put any sauce with it. And it's like, I guess, that's
sure.
fine.
Also,
You can even
Italian.
put something shitty like Sonic with him, and he's good. You know,
That's true. Mario is...
like there's the Sonic Mario Olympics thing.
Maybe
right?
I'll just replace all the pictures of myself on my Bumble profile with pictures of Mario, and people will...
That would be
More
you
compatible.
would
bumbling
get
too?
so
More
many
compatible.
dates.
Dude, you bumbling?
I'm just saying, Mario more
So-
compatible than me.
Ian, you bumbling, man? I'm bumbling too,
Hey,
man.
I'll
I'll,
see
I'll,
would
I'll make
argue
a
now,
Mario
though.
Bumble. I'll see what
Allison,
happens.
You
Let's
probably
go.
No,
get it
Chris,
as pictures of
Chris,
penises
sorry.
as it is. That's not a good idea.
Chris.
If I'm Mario,
Chris, what were you gonna say?
they're not going to do that.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris, go ahead.
So now that we've been talking about Bumble, I would argue that Mario is not peanut butter. He's pasta, as Allison was saying.
No, but see, Mario.
But he goes with
peanut butter's
everything.
Good by
Peanut
itself,
butter does
too.
not go with everything.
Doesn't go with everything.
I don't know. I gotta
Peanut
put
butter
peanut
and
butter on
mint.
everything. Are you kidding? I would eat that in a heartbeat.
Okay.
Like those Oreos.
No.
There's like the mint Oreos with chocolate. Just
No.
add some peanut
No.
butter to that. To be fair, though, I do dip basically every type of Oreo in peanut butter. So
There's also, in case you're into combining peanut butter with other foods, put peanut butter on your grilled cheese. Try
is
it,
good.
and then
Yeah.
thank me later. It's fucking brilliant. Allison, stop
Ooh,
making that
Okay.
face.
We were good. We were in sync. We had the Shia LaBeouf thing, and then you threw this at me, and I just don't know who you are anymore.
Just believe, Allison. Believe for a moment. Just let it. Just try it. That's all I'm saying. Just try it.
It is good.
It's great.
So my pairing that I really like, I have two, and mine are like practical application things. Thing number one, do you remember the MMO mice that kind of combined like keyboard buttons on the side where your thumb could access those?
I still use that.
The Razor
Those
knockout.
are the most useful buttons on
look
a
at
mouse.
that thing! Holy shit!
It's great. You just program whatever you, and it's in a thumb's accent. That changed everything as far as mice. I love that. That is one of
So-
the greatest pairings of all time to happen
In
to
case-
mice.
this is blowing my mind. Allison, can you hold that up again just so I can describe it?
Have you never seen one of those?
So this mouse...
Yeah, this is my life. That's why I still have it.
This mouse, in case you're like me and you've never seen one of these monstrosities, is like standard, regular mouse.
It's not a monstrosity. It's
a nice weighted wheel. It's got some RGB lighting on it. And it also has 3 rows of 4 buttons where you would normally maybe have like 1 or 2 on the side. And it is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's essentially a number pad.
Yeah, it's a number pad on the side of the mouse. Wow.
It'd be even cooler if it was a phone also. And you could just pick it up and put it to your ear.
That's like bassoon training for gamers.
That was such a music
Nerd.
joke. No one's going to understand that.
Maybe Trevor will get that joke. That one's for you, Trevor.
And my other...
That's for the one bassoon player.
But I just think that changed so much for especially more complex games like WoW, for example. I mean, those were built for MMOs. You know, you got everything's at a thumb's access there, and it frees up your hands for WASD or your left hand for WASD. My other pairing that I think is great, and this is a more recent thing, is Xbox and PCs with their Play Anywhere.
I love
huge.
that.
I
gotta say,
love it.
Being able to like play Sea of Thieves on my PC or on my Xbox as I choose is really cool. And I only had to purchase it 0 times because of Xbox Game Pass being free for 2 weeks.
Only 0.
So yeah, I mean that is a really good point, Will. Combining and being able to cross-play on those is pretty neat.
I think it's wonderful, and we're starting to see cross-play be more of a, break those boundaries of ecosystems, which I think is
a draw.
Great. I really like that. It does put kind of the console players at a disadvantage when us PC Master Race folks are in there, but I don't really care.
But for games like Sea of Thieves or Rocket League, not
with
really.
that, it's fine. Yeah.
So I had one. Slow motion and first-person shooters.
Yeah, that's a good one. Match
Payne. Made in heaven. Yeah, so Max Payne is one who did this, and then it was, I mean, everybody remembers Call of Duty kick down the door moments where there were, you kick it and then immediately it pops into slow motion. You're like popping headshots and feeling like a badass. It just feels so right.
It does. I would argue that Max Payne is a third-person shooter.
It is a third-person shooter. You're right.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to be that guy.
They should have just said shooters in slow motion.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. A retcon. We're going to retcon that. Nobody go back and listen.
There's a really good one in the feed. I don't know who put it there. Luigi and vacuums. Why is this a good... I want to be a fly on the wall in the business pitch meeting where this happened, where someone was like, okay, guys... Luigi.
So Ghostbusters. Luigi. Well, he needs his own game. So what if he was just a Ghostbuster?
But instead of like a laser gun, we give him a vacuum cleaner and a rainbow flashlight.
But let's be real. Like, when you were growing up as a kid and you were playing around as a Ghostbuster,
you used the vacuum cleaner.
With the backpack. Like, you were just using the vacuum.
Yeah, it was a vacuum. It was a vacuum. Yep.
So I've never played Luigi's Mansion.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah, I've
Dude,
never
you gotta play Luigi's
Mansion. Ian, you lost me again. What are you doing?
Oh, man, my stock was up and Allison landed.
You had her at Shia LaBeouf, and now you just ruined it.
It's all downhill from here.
Grilled cheese and peanut butter.
She swiped left on you, dude.
Mario says no.
I could never hope to pair with Mario. Okay, so Luigi's Mansion is a platformer?
No.
Nope.
It's like an
kind
adventure
of.
game, really.
Yeah, it's more adventure. It's not a platformer.
Yeah. You can't jump or anything like that.
You can't jump?
So.
And it's Luigi?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, because he's got a vacuum on his back. It's hard to jump with a vacuum on your back.
That's fair. That's fair. What does the vacuum suck up?
Ghosts.
Coins.
And coins.
Tapestries.
And coins and jewels and stuff like that.
And dust.
And dust, yes. Dust
And
also.
tapestries.
What was the vacuum game for Game Boy that I really loved? I think vacuums. First of all, the sucking mechanic is an underutilized and important mechanic that needs to come back into the mainstream.
So this is part 2 of Will's 101 from earlier.
Sucking mechanic.
I'm just
The
saying.
sucking mechanic is really
Before this tonight, Will and I were using the sucking mechanic in CS:GO.
Oh yeah, that's the combination of that CS:GO taught me that is really good, which is 12-year-olds and apparently my mother.
Also Call of Duty or Halo.
Yep, or Halo, any of those games.
12-year-olds and
All they taught me in that was that I should be comboing a kitchen and a sandwich rather than a video game. That's all 12-year-olds taught me in those games.
Boo! Get those 1990s mentalities out of here, video games.
What about Leet Speak and Crossroads chat?
What?
or Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris
true.
and Crossroads chat.
What is Crossroads? Oh, the Crossroads and WoW. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a really good pairing. Chuck Norris and feet. When those two things were put together, things were
Or
wrecked.
Chuck Norris's feet and your face. That's
All right.
one
Here's
thing.
another one I want to throw. Ready? A joystick for your right thumb and a joystick for your left thumb.
That
was-
and
that
it's
was
stuck forever. So far,
I mean, that was revolutionary when that
yeah, it
happened.
was.
Yeah. I still remember how shitty it was playing GoldenEye with a joystick and a D-pad in your right hand, a D-pad on your right thumb. Like, just thinking about it right now gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I'm getting the giblies.
Yeah, you got those yellow buttons to look up, down,
The
left, right.
C-pad. That's what that was
So,
called.
one other thing just to consider, that's a great pairing: space and magic. Space.
Go
Oh, you
on.
mean the Force?
So
Yes, I do.
Like Mass Effect.
Yeah, sure.
See, I
The
immediately
Force.
went Magic the Gathering, and I was like, what?
The Force, the abilities from Mass Effect, Destiny, which I think is actually pretty much straight up
Yep,
space
space
magic.
magic.
Like space and it's just so good.
But why?
It's just, but also because it's good because here's why it's good is because you can like put convoluted, ridiculous explanations as to why it is not really magic. It's science, but it's really just magic.
But I mean, why can't it just be magic? Why does it have to be in space? What makes it? What
Because
makes
space.
space make magic so much better?
because
I mean,
Yeah, I
magic's
Because
pretty
you
awesome.
believe it.
You know what I
just
mean?
instantly believe it because,
Exactly.
like, here, you kind of have to justify magic because we don't have it on Earth. But when you go into space,
Oh,
it's
no.
like we're in a different place, right? We have different
Well, like what about
things.
like what about like fantasy magic or like
I guess
you know, like, why-
I guess
like,
I'm
I
kind
don't
of like Han
understand why
Solo, where it's like
specifically
I don't
space
believe
magic.
in that kind of crazy stuff.
I agree with Allison because you're
I
in a
agree with
different
Allison.
environment. Your belief structure and your anchor to reality is just lifted, and you're accepting of different things immediately.
I think it's sound logic because space.
Yeah.
No, there's no sound in space. It just makes sense.
nice?
Here's another one to cogitate on: cover shooters and the Lancer weapon from Gears of War.
But why specifically the Lancer? Like,
Specifically, the
'Cause of the
Lancer.
chainsaw.
Exactly.
But-
So
I would say the cutscene in the Lancer is more important.
the cutscene.
Like the cut, like
The
the
animation.
animation, like
Like whenever you go up and
like the and like
put the chainsaw between the guy's legs.
that's what I cared about.
See, so for me, it was all about the fact that like cover shooting is basically a waiting game where you're just like, I'm waiting, and now I'm shooting, and now I'm waiting again. And the chainsaw part of that was like, I don't need to wait because I could just break from cover and like saw someone's head in three halves in half.
Yeah, he's right. It was like this neat juxtaposition of two totally different play styles that you would
Yeah,
expect.
exactly.
Okay,
Interesting.
Brilliant design.
I'm starting
Brilliant.
to pick up what you're putting down.
Brilliant.
I'm wearing what you're
Arguably,
selling.
probably one of my favorite weapons, actually.
Right?
Super
That's what
cool.
I'm saying.
It's so
There is nothing more satisfying than chainsawing someone in half with the Lancer.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
spearing someone with the Retro Lancer.
It's true. That was
The
fun too.
retro lancer. I don't know.
It's just got a big knife on the end.
That was
It's
the
like
one that just had a
bayonet.
big
And you would
knife
just
in the end,
charge
yeah.
with it, and then just like
Yeah.
pick them up. It just had a bayonet on the front of it. It was awesome.
That's basically it. Just big.
Nice.
Nice.
That's it for our favorite pairings in gaming. If you have any other wonderful peanut butter and jelly-like combinations that you want to talk about, hit us up at thegamebrew@gmail.com or on Facebook or on Instagram or on Twitter. We love hearing from you. Also, PSA real quick. I know that you, listener, yes you, sitting there in that chair without your pants on, I know that you love the Game Brew. And we need your support. We need you to support us. So if you could do me a big favor right now, don't wait, do it right now, and go on to iTunes or go on to the Google Play Store and leave us a review. I would be very, very appreciative. It makes a big difference for us, and we love you when we do it. So thanks a lot. Thanks for doing that, and say goodbye, everybody.
Wait. Oh my God. You guys.
What?
Hold on. Wait. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Not having fun
What?
time. Mandatory fun time.
I haven't been recording for the past 45 minutes.
Are you serious?
Dan,
Oh my God. Hold on.
I can't.
You know
you're
what?
you're
You know
editing
what?
the show.
April Fools. April Fools, you guys.
It's March
It will
25th.
be. It will be.
It will be when the episode releases, because guess what? It's time for Dan Fun Time. It's time for mandatory fun. Everybody get ready.
You will have fun.
Are you ready? If you will have fun whether you like it or not. So everybody just prepare yourselves. This is where the mandatory fun music will go. Ready? And here, lots of trombones, lots of tubas,
Lots of tubing.
Accordions.
that are happening. But everything is mandatory.
A little bit of clarinet.
Just a little bit. You don't want to have too much clarinet. If you have too much clarinet, nobody likes it. All right. So today's mandatory fun, because of the wonderful holiday of April Fool's Day, we are going to do a little thing. So we're going to try and determine. We're going to play two truths and a
Nice.
lie with video games and beer. Okay.
Nice.
So everybody, I'm going to give you a thing. I'm going to give you a choice of topics. You can pick one. And then I'm going to tell you two truths and a lie. You have to try and pick out which one is not true. If you do, you get a mandatory fun time point, which you can trade in later for prizes.
And if we're wrong, we have to take clothes off.
That's true. Yes. I mean, you don't necessarily have to. It's not. That's not mandatory.
It's
You can do it. Everything here is mandatory. Everybody. Okay. So I'm going to start with Ian, our illustrious host. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So I'm going to list you the topics. You can pick whichever one
Okay.
you want. All right. So Konami Code, ET, Link, Budweiser, World of Warcraft, PlayStation.
I'll take World of Warcraft for 500, Bob.
All right. World of Warcraft for 500. This potent potable is... No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So here are your three facts. Fact number one. It is the highest grossing game of all time. Number two. It was released on the 10th anniversary of the Warcraft franchise. Number three. Marvel released a WoW comic in 2007 under the Wildstorm imprint.
I'm going to go B is false.
I'm sorry, Ian. You do not get any points for that. That is true. It was released
it
on the
really?
10th anniversary of the Warcraft
Come
franchise. It
on.
was.
Isn't C false? Because that's not the right
It is. C is
publishing
false.
company.
Yeah, DC released a WoW comic in 2007.
Wow.
Tisk Ian.
Allison,
Three
damn.
strikes
That's a good
tonight.
call because
Oh.
it's usually
It's never
DC
gonna happen.
or Dark Horse that does those kind
Terrible.
of things.
Well, Allison, since you knew that one, you're going to go next. All right, so the remaining categories: Konami Code, ET, Link, Budweiser, or PlayStation.
Let's go with Konami Code.
Konami Code. Here we go. Fact number one. It first appeared in the game Contra, giving it the pet name the Contra Code. Fact number two. When spoken to Alexa, she will try to activate Super Alexa. Number three. Enter the code on GOG.com and you can play Snake or Pong.
The first one's false.
first one. It first appeared in the game Contra. That is correct. It is not true. That
there.
Wow.
It was.
Very nice.
Oh my God.
Do you know what game? Do you know what game
Gradius?
it did appear in?
That is
that
one.
Gradius.
Gradius.
Yeah, Gradius is what. Yeah, the first one it appeared in.
Retro.
So
Bring it.
one super mandatory fun time point for Allison there. There we go. All right. I'm going to just jump boop over to William. The remaining categories: E.T., Link, Budweiser, and PlayStation. PlayStation. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Fact number 1. It was the first game console to sell 120 million units. Fact number 2. It was originally planned as a Sega console, but Sega scrapped the design and Sony sold it itself. Number 3. The DualShock controller received an Emmy Award in 2007.
What Emmy Award would it have won?
I'm going to go B. That doesn't sound right to me.
Ooh, no, Will.
That's correct.
Ooh. What?
B
I'm gonna go
B is false?
B was the originally planned as a Sega console, but Sega scrapped the
Correct.
idea.
I'm picking that as the false one.
All right, and that is true.
What?
It is not true. It was originally planned as a Nintendo console.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
But Nintendo scrapped the design because they were developing the electronics for Nintendo, and Sony was like, you know what, we're just going to sell it ourselves.
Nice.
So,
No, I think Nintendo said no, and then
that's what I said.
I thought you said Sony said no.
No. Sony was all in,
Oh, my
but
bad.
Nintendo was like, never mind, we scrapped the idea.
My bad.
But the DualShock controller did receive an Emmy Award in
Shut
2007.
Shut the
For what?
front door. Yeah, for what?
For being amazing.
It's pause. So in 2007, the DualShock controller was given an Emmy Award for peripheral development and technological impact of video game controllers by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences.
Word.
Has
On
the
January
Xbox
8th,
controller gotten
2007. I don't know that information.
Huh.
I'll have to set my processors on that searching
Cool.
Searching
stuff there.
Searching.
But I mean, think about that's the DualShock. Like,
Yeah, that's
imagine-
huge.
That was the first controller that had rumble.
That is huge.
On it, so.
And also, wasn't DualShock the first one with the 2 joysticks?
Yes, that is correct. Well, no. Technically, the first one with 2 joysticks was not a DualShock controller. It was just the PlayStation controller. The DualShock came out later.
I see.
With the
because
rumble.
It had that had the rumble feature. All right, mandatory fun. So we have mandatory fun points for Allison. We have mandatory fun points for William. Now, Christopher, it is your turn for mandatory fun.
Yeah.
You get to choose from these things: E.T., Link, Budweiser.
I'm gonna go with Budweiser.
Budweiser. Here we go. Fact number 1. Not including special edition can designs, there have been 12 major design changes for the Budweiser beer can. Fact number 2. Budweiser pays $50 million annually for MLB licensing rights. Fact number 3. Budweiser was introduced in the year 1876.
I'm gonna go with 3.
Oh, Chris, I'm sorry. You do not get any mandatory fun points. That is correct. It was introduced in the year 1876. Unfortunately, the incorrect answer was that Budweiser pays $50 million annually for MLB licensing rights. They only pay $20 million for
Really? That's
MLB
it?
licensing
That's
rights.
really low.
Yeah, it's not a whole
Because no one cares about baseball.
Wow, dude! I'm
Oh.
going to opening day this week.
Oh, man. All right, but that's okay because I still have 2 more categories. Ian, would you like to
I would like to
try and
redeem
get some
myself,
mandatory?
yes.
All right, so E.T. or Link?
I'm going to take Link.
All right, Link.
This is going to end poorly. I know more about Link than I do E.T., but I don't know that much about Link.
All right, here we go. Fact number 1. Link was originally planned to appear in the Wii version of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Fact number 2. He is mute, which is why you never hear him talk. Number 3. Link is left-handed.
I'm going to go with... okay, he is definitely left-handed. C is true. What was B again?
B, Link is mute, which is why you never hear him talk.
Never talks, but I couldn't tell you that he is actually mute. I'm going to go with A, Dan. A is not true.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
my
Ian.
God,
You did not get any mandatory fun points. There
Dan,
is,
can I,
yes.
For 3, are we talking in every game?
Okay, so Link is left-handed. In the Wii version of Twilight Princess, they mirrored the character because most people are right-handed when using the Wii remote. However, in the Game Boy
and GameCube version, he is left-handed.
GameCube version, he is left-handed.
Yes.
So that is just a port, which is why
I was
it doesn't
curious
count.
about how they were gonna.
Aha! See, I thought of that. I knew you were going to ask that. So I'm sorry, Ian, but you get 0 points.
Okay, hold on, back up. Why is it that Link never talks if he's not mute?
Well, in most of the games, he does make noises. Most people don't give him the ability to talk. In Breath of the Wild, Zelda actually says that he is so weighted down by purpose and duty that he does not feel he needs to talk.
But he's not
he's
mute.
like,
he's just like a monk who chooses not to speak.
Basically, he chooses not to talk because he feels like his duty is more important than actually saying anything.
I don't... God damn it, Link.
So sorry.
So that's
All right.
2 pieces of clothing you have to take off, and moving on.
All right, Chris.
Well,
there you go.
all right.
Chris, last chance. Ready to redeem yourself?
Sure.
All right, here we go. So E.T. is the last category. All right, so fact number 1. E.T. has sold more copies than Space Invaders, so Space Invaders is really not that Space Invaders is not that successful, and E.T. is really not that unsuccessful. Fact number 2. They dug up all the copies in April of 2014 from the landfill in Alamogordo, New Mexico.
This
and
is
fact
E.T.
number
the
3,
video game.
Right. And number 3, the game is not a reference to the movie of the same name, despite popular opinion.
Should have gone with E.T.
I want to say 3, but it makes me think it's not.
Wait. What was... hold on, that's not his final answer. What was 3 again?
3 was that the game is not a reference to the movie of the same name, despite popular opinion.
All right.
I mean, what was the first one?
First one, E.T. sold more copies than Space Invaders.
It's the first one.
So it is not that unsuccessful. It's the first one. Oh, I'm so sorry. You guys are not catching any breaks. So E.T. did sell more copies than Space Invaders. It did. It sold 1.5 million. Space Invaders only sold 1 million copies.
Oh my god!
They just projected it would do better than it did, and so they had a lot of leftovers. Which there's a documentary.
Yeah, I've seen the documentary, and I know that they did
up.
find them.
Yeah, it did.
And they did dig them up, so I know that one's true.
So the one that is false is that the game is not a reference to the movie of the same name. It is. You can actually see on the box art. It is the E.T. art from the movie.
I mixed that. I thought
you psyched yourself out.
I'm sorry. It's my fault, Chris. I'll just take off all my clothes. It's me.
I mixed myself up because I knew
he's
that the
actually
box art
doing
was
it.
the
I
same.
told you it's not mandatory. Oh god.
No, I knew the I can
so
see the
hairy.
box art. Like I knew it was that. So I was thinking in my head I was just being dumb.
It's okay. It's all right. Well, you know what? You know what, Ian?
Yes.
And Christopher,
yes.
Next week you will get a chance to get some more mandatory fun points, but this week your mandatory fun winners are William and Allison. Everybody give a polite applause. Yes. Here we go. All right, and then we are good. So everybody tune in next time for mandatory fun. Yeah. Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. All right, everybody, that's it for us this week at the Game Brew Podcast. Thanks to Chris, Dan, Will, and Allison. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
There was all sorts of games. Got big old fat games. Long, quick games. Some games I used to cheat at, and then I got put in the corner. Mama didn't like it when I cheated at Mario. Goodbye.
And I'm stopping. All right.
That's the best Forrest Gump I've got.